P&S booth here with Bob.
Yep.
Bob's going to tell us all about the new polishing system.
Thanks, Troy. Always good to see you at SEMA, right? It's like an annual thing. You come to the P&S booth, we talk about new products. So this year for 2025, we're focusing on what we call our Paint Recovery Series, right? And so if you know P&S, we basically have stayed kind of out of the paint correction game for essentially 7 years. So this Rehab was the first paint correction product that my brother invented in 7 years. And so with the primary product in the Paint Recovery Series is Rehab. So Rehab is an adaptable compound that basically will do 80% of the work. So if you're a detailer and you're looking for one product to do paint correction, finish, all in one, that's what Rehab will do. And the reason that we love Rehab is that it's all about making life easier for the detailer. So for example, number one, zero dust. Literally, there's no dust with this product. I know detailers are like, come on, there's got to be some dust. There is no dust, right?
Wow.
The best wipe off in the industry. So one of the things that, you know, P&S always focuses on with our products is how can we make detailers' lives easier, right? And detailers don't realize how much time after they do paint correction, they get done, and then they take that microfiber towel and they're working so hard to remove the residue, right?
Yeah.
And when you take that section and you multiply that over the whole car, this could be 20 minutes of wiping.
Yeah.
Rehab wipes off like it was never there.
Wow.
So, and then the other thing is long working time. So you basically make the product do what you want it to work.
Okay.
You want to buff for short, you want to buff long, right? And we also call it adaptable. What we mean by adaptable is that it works with every pad.
Right.
It'll work with a wool pad, it'll work with a microfiber pad, it'll work with all kinds of foams. DA, forced action, you name it, Rehab will adapt to it. We made Rehab. And we love the name, by the way, Rehab, right? Rehab paint, right? And then we started to have fun on this. That's why we call it our Paint Recovery Series. So, you know, before you go to Rehab, you have to get a little intervention. And then after Rehab, you need a little therapy to keep yourself sane, right? So it's kind of like if you have serious paint correction, you need an intervention, right? So as we look at the line, Rehab's the backbone of it. But when detailers need like a little more cut, right? Because we know there's times where you need that. Ideally, we want to use one product, but sometimes you need more than one. So you would step up and go to intervention. So this would be your aggressive compound. This would be kind of your all. I use the term all, but not all in one because it's not a protectant. There's no protection in any of these. These are all body shops that just one step. And then for lighter, softer paints, you would use therapy. Or if you were doing a two-step paint correction, if you do intervention, a lot of times you will need to do a second step. You wouldn't jump to Rehab, you jump right to therapy. So this would be step one, step two. So if you're doing two-step paint correction, it would be intervention, therapy. If you're just doing kind of all in one, it would be Rehab. The beautiful thing about Rehab and the Paint Recovery Series is all these intervention and therapy are built on the same system. So you still have zero dust, sexiest wipe off ever, and long working time. So literally, you know, I think you know P&S style. We don't really like overhype products, but I will tell you this. Rehab and these products, once a detailer uses it, they always walk up to us and they go, what do you got in that product? What's making that work? So Rehab really, I will tell you this, it will make paint correction pleasurable and it'll change detailers' lives. So,
just kind of, just quickly, just what type of a process would somebody do to start out with? Because you mentioned it's going to do wool pad all the way up to a soft foam. So guy wants to do a one step. I know there's never a right answer, but would you go maybe orange foam? Where do you?
So kind of what's the sweet spot?
Yeah, kind of where would you maybe have a start point? If it's set up like that.
I think if you were looking like what's your ultimate test spot? Right. So I would think orange foam, Rehab. Right.
Then naturally, I need less.
Then you adjust from there. Right.
Okay.
But surprisingly, I mean, this product corrects with wool like you can't believe. So what we really found when we were, you know, adding intervention, we were adding therapy. Therapy was easy, but intervention was tough because we're like, we really don't need something more aggressive because we have it all in Rehab. But we knew that at some point you're going to need something more aggressive. So the interesting thing about intervention, Rehab, and therapy that most customers don't know is that our sister company, 3D, they refine their own abrasives. So all the abrasives in here use 3D abrasive technology. So it's really interesting how we can define and build our own abrasive. That's what also makes these products so special.
So I'm here with Sydney. and we've got a neat product. I mean, I have some skepticism with it. It's like, why would we need a spray before we vacuum carpets?
Exactly. So Release is a vacuum aid, and this is honestly the product that no one knows they need. But I'm going to tell you why. At the time, I had a small daughter. She's now 20, but she had a lot of those like American Doll girls, right? And so we learned from brushing their hair that you needed something with an anti-static in it to be able to comb their hair out. So for me, as a detailer, I thought, well, I feel like if I had an anti-static on this carpet, this would go faster, and all this sand and dirt and dog hair wouldn't reattach, right? So we had a product called Paint Gloss, which is our kind of quick detailer, clay mist, all that kind of stuff. And I had heard Dave say multiple times it has an anti-static in it. So I started using Paint Gloss as a vacuum aid. So I would just mist a light mist on the carpet, and then I would vacuum it. And I was like, wait, that just took off so much time, It was 1 or 2 passes, and it was world changing, right? And so I remember being in Big Bear one time with Dave, and I took him over to this Porsche, and I said, you've got to come see this. Because Dave, for anybody who knows Dave, that he hates when you use his products for unintended purposes. And so I was like, no, you got to see this. This is crazy. So I showed him, and then he goes, well, that totally makes sense to me why that works, because he knows what's in the bottle, right? And he said, well, that totally makes sense why that works. And so for a couple years, we were using Paint Gloss. And Dave was like, let's make a product that truly is for that intended purpose.
That's right.
Because it honestly did save me 50% of my vacuuming time, which is huge, I mean, we want to make as much money as we can in a shorter amount of time. Now, I don't want to vacuum twice as long. So that is where Release was born. The beauty in it is it does flash off, so you're not leaving any moisture in the carpet. You're definitely not, harming your vacuum with the moisture that's being sucked up. So it's like 1-2 sprays, right? So we're using the anti-static for that. Then the next thing that this does is it has an anti-soil. So what this means is, out there we'll see people say that they use like, a rinseless wash or a carpet bomber as a vacuum aid because they're like, oh, any spray will work. Not really. What those do is now you have left a surfactant on the surface and it will actually clean the bottom of your shoes every time you get in the car. So this has an anti-soil. So this doesn't mean that your carpets aren't going to get dirty, but it does mean that what is left on the carpet is not going to pull dirt off of anything. So it is going to help your carpet stay cleaner longer because it's not going to pull anything off your shoes. So anti-soil. And then the third component is it is an odor neutralizer. So it's not a cover-up. It actually neutralizes odors. This is just going to do a general all-purpose odor neutralization. It's just going to leave it nice, really clean, fresh scent. So if there's any maybe food odors or dog odors or things like that, especially up in the headliner, it's just going to aid in neutralizing the odors. This is definitely a product that gets a lot of side eye, right? Like, why would I need that? But it's also the one that if you go to any post or anywhere online that you see this and people who have used it go, now I get it. Now I get it.
I also,
so it's awesome.
Bob also mentioned too that it also makes the carpet look a little bit better.
I mean, it can add like a darkening effect. I think that actually comes from, though, is because of that anti-static, you're really getting all of that fine dirt. And that can be proven through, like, if you take a Tornador tool or something after you've vacuumed, you still get that like really fine dust. So I think the darkening actually comes from it. You're really getting cleaner. All of that. You're doing a better job.
Perfect.
But it does kind of leave that clean, refreshed look. If you're a detailer that likes to do the lines in the carpet, this is going to help you.
Help you a little bit,
So that honestly, it's such a great product. And this is fun for me to see the skepticism and then see people get it and go, oh, now I get it. 100%.
And now I need it.
Now I need it.
Right, exactly. No, that's great. I think that answers a lot of questions. It's going to be a lot easier for people to understand it and have a need to buy it, right? So you can find all the P&S products in store online at autoobsessed.com. Well, thank you very much, Sydney.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for watching.